Hi everyone, it's Elayne and welcome to a new episode of Think, Dream, and Be Bigger. So today I want to talk to you about the power of the pivot. Now, I used to play basketball years and years ago, and one of the moves that you make when you're trying to go around an opponent is you pivot. You're going in one direction, you pivot, and you shift and go in the other direction to get around the opponent, the pivot. We all know what it is. It's done in several sports, but basketball is my favorite. I was pretty good too. But the power of the pivot I'm talking about today, though, is in your professional journey or career, and that you can make a shift from what you're doing now, what you're building now, and decide to do something different, and that's okay. And I say that's okay because that's something that I have done and still toiling with, but something that I did after building a career for 20 years in media. I know I look much younger than that, but for 20 years, I've worked in media at several publications and outlets and built a career from intern to top level positions at several different companies. And it was in my early 30s, actually, that I started to get that bug to be an entrepreneur, or at that time, I didn't know exactly what it was. But I knew I wanted to create something of my own. That was something very important to me. Didn't know what that thing was going to be. Eventually, it evolved into years later launching chicrebellion.tv. But at that time, I just knew that I wanted to create something different. But I struggled a little bit because I was pivoting from a full-time job, a quote-unquote good job, working at a company, and moving into an unknown space and wanting to do something different. But I will tell you, after experiencing that, even with the hard times that there are, because certainly not having a 9-to-5 job is difficult or a challenge, as opposed to the thing you're doing with the entrepreneur hustle until you get it going. I'm still in the early stages of building, so it is very much still a hustle. Still, there is power in that, in deciding to make a change and do something different. And I wanted to share that with you because I know a lot of you may be in careers or positions or whatever it is that you don't necessarily love anymore, and you want to do something different, but you may be struggling with the idea of that pivot, leaving something that feels secure or feels like something you've built over several years, and you don't want to move into a whole other direction that's new, especially once you reach a certain level in your career or a certain age. I've hit both, and I still decided to make that change. Another thing to remember that I had to remind myself is when you make a change from a certain career to, even if it's another type of career, it doesn't have to be entrepreneurship, I'm just talking about that, but whatever change that you make, remember that you take those skills along with you. That was something I had to remind myself when I was thinking, all my life I've wanted to be a writer, and I still do, and I still am, but I built this career over all these years. Now I'm going into a whole new space where I don't know the terrain as well, and what am I going to do? I don't know anything, but actually, yeah, you do know something. All those years that you spent in whatever other job, career, position, path that you were on, you take all of that as well as your life experiences. You take that with you. When you have a new life experience, it doesn't diminish all of the things you've done before. The same is the case with the pivot. When you decide to pivot and do something different, you don't diminish all of the things that you've done before, all the things you've contributed, all of the work that you've created. You take all of those things with you. So there is power in the pivot. I want us all to embrace it. If you want to try something new, try it, experiment, map it out, write about it, ask other people who are already doing it. There are ways to feel your way when wanting to do something different and then deciding if you want to jump in. And you know what? You can always decide, no, I don't like that. I'm not going to do that, and change your mind again. But let's not hold ourselves back from experimenting and trying new things, doing the things that we really want to do or that we feel we want to do. It's not the same as going after shiny objects and jumping around. And even though if you want to do that, you like it, I love it, so go for it. But I'm really talking about when you're making a drastic change, something that'll either change your lifestyle, change your career, change whatever it is. Think about the fact that there's power in that, and it actually takes a lot of courage to do so. And you have a lot of courage, so I know you can do it. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on Think, Dream, and Be Bigger. Let's continue to do that all together. Take care.